Hey, what's up, fellow collectors? We'll jump right into it. We had a series that started a while back, and to be honest, I kind of fell off on it, but I collect books. I collect a lot of different books and magazines, a lot of different stuff. But in this one, I want to talk about one of my favorite books of all time, and it led into its successor, which is the next Star Wars book. But I think this video will really hit for all the space nerds out there like me, RPG players, as well as just enthusiasts of old books that can be worth good money. So this video I think is important to kind of everybody that collects stuff because it will show you that even these oddball old RPG books can be worth really, really good money. This thing can be worth over $200 now, and my lovely, lovely wife, Jessica, was the one that got me this copy. So after meeting, I told her, hey, I play a lot of RPGs and I play Star Wars a lot. And she found this at a consignment store a few years back. I absolutely love it. This is one of those books that came out in a time where, and this is my really cool Boris Vallejo little thing, I only put these in books I know I will never get rid of. But this was one of those cool series of books for RPGs that I think will fascinate you if you've never even heard of it. This book came out in 1987, so it was right in the middle of Star Wars. Star Wars had a drought at that time, though, so Return of the Jedi had already come out 4 years earlier than that, in 1983. And so there's no prequels, no Disney yet, no Clone Wars, no nothing. And the galaxy was quiet until West End Games came in and said, we have this funky idea, and we want to make a role-playing game, kind of like Dungeons & Dragons. And they got the license from Lucasfilm, and instead of playing it safe, they went all in on this thing. It covers a lot of stuff that had never even been invented before. So you have lots of stuff. You can see the first chapter's game mastering. They had to basically create how to game master an RPG game based around Star Wars. This thing's like a love letter to Star Wars because they had to really invent it. Alien names, ship types, political systems, pretty much everything we know before Disney came in and chopped it all up. You can see here, as I'll get this cord that's hanging out in the way, all the classic characters here, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and throughout the book you see all that stuff. Beautiful artwork, beautiful depictions of various characters, vehicles, armaments from the movies and all of that. If you've ever played a Star Wars RPG or even read one of the old EU novels, then you've probably touched ideas that came from this exact book. So, this is not from the movies. It is from this book. Even Timothy Zahn, if you're familiar with that, who wrote the Thrawn trilogy and now many books in the Star Wars realm, literally handed him the early copies of this RPG for him to create the further books out of it. If you've ever read Heir to the Empire, The Last Command, a whole bunch of books, but mainly the Thrawn trilogy, that really kicked it all off. So they basically said, here's your reference manual, go to it. So there are charts, there's maps, there's species lists in this, all things that are new, that never existed before. Also the whole system of how to play it, how to battle each other, create your characters, all that stuff was created in this RPG book. This one uses the D6 system, so it's not like current games that use D20. Now, if you're like me and you've played RPGs for a very long time, I started in 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons, which was made back in the early 80s, late 70s. Anyhow, it was an old system, D10s and percentiles, and you were basically doing a calculus class. D6 was kind of an updated version, made it a little more straightforward, and in this, you're just rolling regular 6-sided dice. You grab a few based on your skill level, you roll them, and you try to beat the target number given by the game master or the scenario. So kind of like any RPG up until that point. Now the weird thing though is like the Force, it was approached a lot differently than later versions of this. They did introduce the Force point system, which is kind of funky but neat. Also, there wasn't really classes like Dungeons & Dragons. You had Brash Pilot, you had Wookiee, Kid, Bounty Hunter, these oddball classes And that's all this stuff in the back here is all your charts, your weapons charts, your damage. And then these here, I'll show you, are your, let me see if I can kick a little, there we go. So you have Tough Native, Wookiee, Young, Senatorial, Retired Imperial Captain, Smuggler, Tongue-Tied Engineer, all these different things, Pirate, Outlaw. So you choose these character archetypes rather than building a scratch character in a lot of cases, although you can do that in this version. But the quick play and easy version, you bust out one of those archetypes and you start going at it. There's more modern polished, modern systems, of course, like I said, but nothing really captures that gritty, kind of handmade campfire story of this version of the Star Wars RPG game. The combat's a little grittier, it's a little more straightforward, and then you're just using good old D6s. So, because this is now a collector's item, let's get to that part of it. So let's talk money, because this book is 100% a collectible. So versions like this that are really nice color, they're clean, they do have a little foxing to the corners of the pages, the cover is a little bit dinged up on the corners, but the color itself is really nice. There's no major indentations, there's no major scratches, damage to the pages, smoke or pet damage. That's a big one for books of this age. These can be worth anywhere from around 80 to like 120 bucks. Now, when you're talking one that's near mint, or you're talking a sealed copy, which are really rare, those go for over $200. So even if you're not into this stuff at all, and you're just out at a secondhand store, a bookstore, or whatever, you're at Books A Million or Second and Charles, whatever's around you, and you see old RPG books for a steal, you could make a really good profit on something that you normally wouldn't even care about. So that's another factor of this for you collectors. So this is it's a piece of creative history. This is a time when like a small team of writers literally had to take basically nothing and expand an entire universe around it. And that's what good games do. They bring people together. That's why I love RPGs. Some of my lifelong friends have been made over the role-playing table in what is an imaginative world where, to be honest with you, I was allured to it from a young age, because for just a few hours, you get to kind of be anything you're not, you know? You get to be whatever you want to be. I'd love to hear your memories as well on those experiences from video gaming to RPG gaming. And, just drop them in the comments. These are some of those games that really bring people together. Collecting stuff brings people together. So let me know what you think about old RPG books, old books in general. And this series is getting kicked off. Jessica's doing a bunch of videos right now, and I have a bunch coming that'll cover not just RPG stuff, but old poetry books, old music books, vinyls, old novels, old plays, kind of all the stuff in the realm of classic literature. So let me know what you think about this book, and keep an eye out for the upcoming RPG books in my vintage and collectible book series. I will see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have an awesome day. Peace out.